Good day, everyone. I am Alvin K. Mosne, a third year BS Ed mathematics student of Norso Shatin campus. Welcome to another interesting topic for our core subject, Ed 301, the teacher and the school curriculum. In this lesson, we will explore the different approaches in curriculum designing, and we will analyze the importance of these approaches in the education process. Before we formally begin our discussion, here are our learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to identify the different approaches in curriculum designing, differentiate the ideas of different approaches in curriculum designing, and internalize the importance of these different approaches in curriculum designing in the education process. Now let us start our discussion by knowing what is curriculum design. Curriculum design is a term used to describe the purposeful, deliberate, and systematic organization of curriculum within a class or course. In other words, it is a way for teachers to plan instruction. When teachers design a curriculum, they identify what will be done, who will do it, and what schedule to follow. It is a complex process that involves planning and organizing learning experiences to achieve specific educational goals. Now, there are various approaches to curriculum design, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. Here are some of the most common approaches. The first one is the subject centered approach, the second is the child or learner centered approach, and lastly, the problem centered approach. But in this discussion, we will only cover the first two approaches. Now let us begin to dig deeper on each approach. Let us start with a subject-centered approach. Subject-centered approach is anchored on a curriculum design which prescribes separate distinct subjects for every educational level, for basic education, higher education, or vocational technical education. Subject centered curriculum design revolves around a particular subject matter or discipline. For example, a subject centered curriculum may focus on math or biology. This curriculum design tends to focus on the subject matter rather than the individual. It is the most common type of curriculum used in K 12 public schools in states and local districts in the United States. This is also practiced in the Philippines because a school day is divided into class period, a school year into quarters or semester. Most of the schools using this kind of structure and curriculum design aims for excellence in the specific subject discipline content. Now, this approach considers the following principles. 1. The primary focus is the subject matter. 2. The emphasis is on bits and pieces of information which may be detached from life. 3. The subject matter serves as a means of identifying problems of living. 4. Learning means accumulation of content or knowledge. And the last one is the teacher's role is to dispense the content. So in this approach, it views learners as passive actors in the learning process. Now, let us proceed to the next approach, which is the child or learner centered approach. Learner centered approach is based on the underlying philosophy that the child or the learner is the center of the educational process. In contrast with the previous approach, learner centered curriculum design considers each individual's needs, interests, and goals. In other words, it acknowledges that students are not uniform and adjusts to those students' needs. Learner centered curriculum design is meant to empower learners, allowing them to shape their education through choices. Instructional plans in a learner centered curriculum are differentiated, allowing students to choose assignments, learning experiences, or activities. These can motivate students and help them engage in the material. Now let us consider these principles of learner-centered approach. 1. Acknowledge and respect the fundamental rights of the child. 2. Make all activities revolve around the overall development of the learner. 3. Consider the uniqueness of every learner in a multicultural classroom. 4. Consider using differentiated instruction or teaching. And lastly, provide a motivating, supportive learning environment for all the learners. That's it for today. I hope you have learned something from our lesson. Thank you and see you next time. Happy learning!